बोले वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय। बोले श्रीमद सद्गुरु सरकार की जय। राधा रानी की जय। Devotees, let's all close eyes. Try to sit up straight and focus your mind. Meditate on God, whichever form of God is pleasing to you. Please meditate. Close our eyes. Focus on God. Prathamam Sadgurum Vande Shri Krishnam Tadanantaram Guru Papatmana Trata Shri Krishnas Tvamalatmana Baraha Pidam Natavarvapu Karnayo Karnikaram Vibhradavasaha Kanakakapisham Vaijayantim Chamala Randhran Venu Radhar Sudhaya Purayan Gopavrindai Brindaranyam Swapadaramanam Pravishad Gita Kirti Namah Kamalana Bhaya Namah Kamalamaline Namah Kamalapadaya Namaste Kamalekshana Yo Brahmanam Virdhati Purvam Yo Vedanscha Prahinoti Tasmai Tagvang Hadevamatma Buddhi Prakasham Mumukshurvai Sharanamaham Prapadye. Bole Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki jai. प्रिय भक्त समुदाय, प्रिय सज्जनों, महानुभाव, dearest devotees of the Supreme Lord, the Divine Souls. First, let me say Radhe Radhe to each and everyone, and my pranam, my humblest prostrations to all of you. Also, to our listeners, viewers on social media, Facebook, YouTube, Bhakti TV, etc. Also, a very heartiest warm Radhe Radhe and pranam to all of you also. Tonight we are at the home of Kenny Doolarchan, Bunsee Trace, Rockwood Road, Penal. Just about 4 years ago, his mom passed away. It's about the anniversary, or close to it. So he wanted to have satsang in her remembrance. Also, he told me that someone who used to be with us all the time, cooking the food for the satsang, etc., recently passed away also. So in her memory also, we prayed Bhagwan Shri Krishna, wherever the soul may be, to bless her, guide and protect that soul. We begin tonight, as usual, with bhajan. Put a little more volume. In the books, if you have them, it's good, thanks. Please turn to page 51. 53. 53. Bhajan number 99. I'll go through the bhajan very briefly. This divine composition written by Jagat Guru Tam Shri Kripalu Mahaprabhu. So we can get maximum benefit. And those who are not here with us also, who will join us through the medium of social media, they will be able to enjoy also. Ek Gopi is saying to a very close, intimate friend, Sakhi mai giridhar haat bhikani. Oh my dear Sakhi, my dearest friend, I have been sold in the hand of Shri Krishna. Giridhar means Shri Krishna. I have completely been sold in his hand. How did it happen? When happened? Pi binu mol amol madhur madhu bhai piye prem divani. Seeing that most beautiful form of Shri Krishna that only a deserving soul can see, infinite bliss flowing from every pore, infinitely more beautiful than the beauty of uncountable Kamdevs combined, that priceless divine bliss, divine beauty flowing from every pore, without paying any price. I drank that. I started drinking that. And having drank that divine bliss, divine love of Shri Krishna, I became madly in love. Bhai piya prem divani. Chaki piya ras roop madhuri log kaye baurani. And having tasted if one tastes even the tiniest drop, tiniest particle of the divine love of Radha Krishna, of Shri Krishna, his roop madhuri, the sweetness of his beautiful form, having drunk that infinite divine nectar, one becomes so intoxicated. It becomes intoxicated that people started thinking I am mad. They started calling me the crazy one, mad one. That he's become crazy, she's become crazy. Rom rami rahyor sham ras sudhi buddhi deha bhulani. Every pore of my body, every pore has now become filled with the infinite bliss of Sham Ras, Shri Krishna bliss, Shri Krishna Ras. Rangaya, the heart, the entire, every particle of the body, soul, everything has become absorbed in that divine bliss, divine love. That I have forgotten who I am, I have forgotten my intellect, I have forgotten the body, I have forgotten everything. Just lost in that divine love. Trin sammadari beda maryada log laj kulkani. And when one becomes infinitely absorbed in that infinite divine bliss of Shri Krishna, then one treats the injunctions of the Vedas like a piece of grass. In other words, they have gone beyond. One who's attained that divine love, bliss of Shri Krishna, goes beyond all injunctions of the Vedas, the rules and regulations of the world, everything. One goes beyond everything. Piya kripalu sakhi hari rasa madira karati sada manmani. In the words of that Gopi, Kripalu Mahaprabhu is saying in her words that she is saying, "O Sakhi, O my dearest friend, having drunk that wine, literally wine, intoxicated divine nectar, divine bliss of Shri Krishna, now I do whatever my mind comes." In other words, I am not long, that devotee is no longer bounded by any rules or regulations. It's gone beyond. Nothing binds that devotee anymore. We sing this beautiful bhajan. गिरिधर हाथ बिखानी सखी मैं गिरिधर हाथ बिखानी सखी मैं, ओ सखी मैं, सखी मैं, ओ गिरिधर हाथ बिखानी सखी मैं, गिरिधर हाथ बिखानी सखी मैं, तीनु मोल अमूल मधुर मधुर भई पिय प्रेम दीवानी सखी पौरानी सखी
लोग कहे
पौरानी सखी गिरिधर हाथ दिखानी सखी रोम रोम रामी रहियो श्याम रस
रोम रोम रानी रहियो श्याम रस
सुधे बुद्धि देह भुलानी
सुधि बुद्धि
देह भुलानी सखी सुधि बुद्धि देह भुलानी सखी गिरिधर हाथ दिखानी सखी
गिरिधर हाथ दिखानी सखी
ऋण समदारी वेद मर्यादा
ऋण समदारी वेद मर्यादा
लोक लाज कुल कानी सखी
लोक लाज कुल कानी सखी
हो गिरिधर हाथ दिखानी सखी कृपालु शक्ति हरि रस मदिरा करती सदा मन मानी सखी
करती सदा मन मानी सखी
ओ गिरिधर हाथ दिखानी सखी
गिरिधर हाथ दिखानी सखी
बोले वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय। Now please let's pay attention. Try to be attentive and listen carefully. We all searching for something in this world. It's a divine law that no one can remain inactive even for a moment. Nahi kashchit kshanamapi jatu tishthatya karmakrit. Chapter 3, verse 5, Gita. But why do we perform actions? Why we continuously perform an action? Everything we do in this world, every action we perform, every thought, every idea, is for one thing only. Sukh, Anand, happiness, bliss. Being a fraction of Sri Krishna, it's our nature to look for happiness everywhere, to want happiness. As another name for Sri Krishna in the Vedas is Anand. Anand means sukh, happiness, bliss. We've not attained even the tiniest drop so far. From beginningless time we have been searching. Beginningless time. But we have not tasted even the tiniest drop, even once, even in dream. We keep searching. Where are we going to find it? Bhagwan Shri Ram. He says to the residents of Ayodhya in the Ramayana, Ram, Siya Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Bolo Ram.
Siya Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Bolo Ram, Siya Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Bolo
Ram, Siya Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
ओ जाओ परलोक यहाँ सुख चाहो सुनी मम वचन हृदय दृढ़ गाह बोलो राम
सिया राम जय जय राम राम सिया राम जय जय राम
ओ सरल सुखद यह मार्ग भाई मोरी भक्ति पुराण श्रुति गाय बोलो
राम सिया राम जय जय राम राम सिया राम जय जय राम
Bhagwan Shri Ram, the Supreme Lord, Supreme God, is saying to the residents of Ayodhya, Ayodhya Vasi, he says, Jao paralok yaha sukh chahu. If you want to get happiness here, while we're here in this world, and after we leave here, paralok. To suni mama bachana hridaya dirgaha. Listen very carefully, very deep. Don't let the mind be careless. Listen very firmly to what I'm going to say. Dirgaha. Sarala sukhada yahmarag bhai. He says, the path to attaining happiness here and hereafter is sadal, very easy, that path. And it's the giver of happiness. What is the path? Mori bhakti purana shruti gai. The path of bhakti for God. for Sri Ram, for Sri Krishna. Mori Bhakti, which the Vedas, the Puranas and every scripture has glorified. In other words, if you want to attain happiness, true happiness, here and after we leave here also, then we have to do bhakti, God is saying. Bhakti alone, the path, bhakti means the path of love in God. The word bhakti means love. Seva, love, many meanings. One meaning is also seva, to serve. When we want to know the meaning of a word in Sanskrit, we look for the root of that word. The root word of bhakti is bhaj. Bhaj means seva karna, to serve. Bhaj dhatu sevaya. So if I serve my boss, I serve the dog, I serve the cat, I serve my parents, my children, is that also bhakti? No. That's service, but that's not bhakti. It is only bhakti when we serve God or a saint, one who's attained God, who is God personified. Param Prema Rupa. Naradji says in Narad Bhakti Sutra, defining bhakti, he says, bhakti is the supreme and immortal love for God. Prem, prem. Parama prem. And what do we have to do to get bhakti? कहाँ हूँ भक्ति पथ भवन प्रयासा योग नमक जप तप उपवासा बोल Shri Ram again is saying to the residents of Ayodhya, what is so difficult? Kavana prayasa, kahu bhakti path, kavana prayasa. What effort you have to make? What hard work? Nothing. Yoga namak japa tapa upavasa. You don't have to do yoga, ashtanga yoga. Yam, niyam, asan, pranayam, pratyahar, dharana, Dharan Samadhi is yoga. You have to do. Mak means havan, yajna. Yoga namak jap. Jap, telling the name of God and the beat. Tap, austerities, tapasya. Upavasa. Fasting, etc. You don't have to do all that. Not in bhakti. All is required one thing. Kahu bhakti path kavan प्रयासा योग नमक जप तप उपवासा बोल राम 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 राजा राम 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 बोलो राम 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 राजा राम राम सरल स्वभाव न मन कुटिलाई, यथा लाभ संतोष सदाई। बोलो
राम 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 राजा राम राम राम, बोलो राम 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 राजा राम राम राम।
God says, all I want is pure heart, simple heart. Sarala swabhavana man kutilai. There should not be any kutilai, any fraud, deceit, deception in the heart, in the mind. The heart is to be made very simple, pure. Yatha labh santosha sadai. Whatever, however you have in the world, however you are satisfied, to be satisfied. Don't keep thinking and looking for more, that something is going to make me happy. Nothing in the world will make me happy, make us happy except Bhagavan. When you understand that, then you don't look, oh, if I had this, I'll be happy. If I had that, I'll be happy. To be contented, all. In whatever situation, however you are, wherever you are. So purity, only bhakti. Jagat Guru Shankaracharya, who is worshipping the formless Brahm, that's what he's teaching. He says to his mother, he's teaching his own mother, Vishuddhayati hinantaratma Krishna Badam Bhoja Bhakti Mrite. Without bhakti to Shri Krishna, the path of love, and without love in Shri Krishna, the heart, the mind cannot be made pure. Impossible. But there are some conditions we have to fulfill in doing bhakti. Or else there will be a blemish in the bhakti. Jagat Guru Tam, Sri Kripalu Mahaprabhu, who is only the fifth original Jagat Guru, or teacher of the entire world, the entire universe. Before him there were four. Adi Jagat Guru Shankaracharya, then came Jagat Guru Nimbarkacharya, then Jagat Guru Ramanujacharya, then Jagat Guru Madhavacharya, and then Jagat Guru Tam Sri Kripalu Mahaprabhu. Not only Jagat Guru, Jagat Guru Tam, topmost among the five. He's written many books, Premras Madira, Premras Siddhant, Bhakti Shatak, Shama Sham Geet, Radha Govind Geet, etc. In one of his books, Bhakti Shatak, Shatak means 100, 100 dohas, couplets, containing all the philosophy of all the Vedas, Puranas, all the scriptures. He says in Doha number 45, Jai Radhe, Jai Radhe. Krishna, Jaya Krishna, Jaya Krishna,
Krishna, Jaya Krishna, Jaya Krishna,
Brahm Lok Paryant Sukh Aru Mukti Sukh Tyag Radhe Radhe तबे धराहु पग प्रेम पथ नहीं लगी वह है नहीं लगी जय है दाग राधे 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 कृष्ण राधे 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 कृष्ण राधे
जय राधे कृष्ण राधे 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 कृष्ण राधे
ओ जय राधे कृष्ण राधे 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 कृष्ण राधे
जय राधे कृष्ण राधे 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 कृष्ण राधे
जय राधे कृष्ण राधे 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 कृष्ण राधे जय राधे
कृष्ण राधे 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 कृष्ण राधे
जय राधे कृष्ण राधे 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 कृष्ण राधे
जय राधे कृष्ण राधे 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 कृष्ण राधे
जय राधे कृष्ण राधे जय राधे कृष्ण राधे
जय राधे कृष्ण राधे जय राधे कृष्ण राधे
जय राधे कृष्ण राधे 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 कृष्ण राधे
जय राधे कृष्ण राधे 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 कृष्ण राधे
बोले वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय। ब्रह्म लोक पर्यंत सुख. There are many heavenly regions. Swarg, where celestial beings reside in the material world, is called heaven. Swarg. Bhu, Bhuvaha, Swaha, Maha, Janaha, Tapaha, Satya. The highest is Satya Lok, also called Brahm Lok, the abode of Brahma, the creator. This is the highest heavenly region. Destructible, non-lasting, but more in this material world. The happiness of heaven is the happiness of this material world multiplied many times, number of times. But since there is no happiness in this material world, zero, no matter how many times you multiply by zero, you will get zero. 0 multiplied by 0, 0. 0 multiplied by 10, 0. 0 multiplied by 100, 0. 0 multiplied by a million, 0. 0 multiplied by a trillion, 0. So there's no true happiness there. But still people want to go. We have been there uncountable times. We have to come back right here and suffer. The highest one, the abode of Brahma, Satyalok. Shri Krishna says in Gita, आ ब्रह्म भुवनालोका पुनरावर्तिनोर्जुन Mamupeta to Kaunteya Punarjanmana Vidyate. Chapter 8, verse 16, Gita. All the heavenly regions from the abode of Brahma, the highest, downwards, they are all destructible, non-lasting. It will finish one day. And only upon attaining God, Shri Krishna, we don't have to come back in this material world and suffer. Very clear in Gita. So the happiness of all they have up to Brahm Lok, Satyalok, as well as the happiness of Aru Mukti ki ras ki sukh, plus the happiness of Mukti, merged into the formless aspect of Shri Krishna, all this has to be given up. Tyaj. Give it up if you want bhakti. Tabai dharau pag prema path. Then only when someone gives up desire for all this swarg, this heaven as well as mukti, then that person can make a first step into the path of divine love, prem, bhakti. If you don't, then nahi lagi jai hai dag. Dag means blemish. There's going to be blemish on the pure cloth of love, divine love, bhakti. You have a very nice white sheet, and suddenly something happened, there's a black spot, dark spot. The blemish. Any desire will cause a blemish in the path of divine love. The Bhagavad Mahapuran says, Lakshanam bhakti yogasya nirgunasya hyudahitam ahaitukya vyavahita ya bhakti purushottame. Third canto, 29, chapter 12, verse. Bhagavad Mahapuran. The word ahaituki means to be free from all desires. The word avyavahita means to be free from the obstacles of the path of Gyan as well as the path of karma, Vedic rites and rituals, dharma, etc. Bhakti has to be pure, no desires. The same thing is said in Bhakti Samit Sindhu. Anya bhilashita shunyam jnana karma dhyanavitam anukulyana krishnanushilanam bhakti ruttama. Naradji also says in Narad Pancharatra, Sarvopadhi vinirmuktam tatparatvena nirmalam hishikena hishikesha sevanam bhakti ruchyate. Narad Pancharatra. The word Sarvopadhi vinirmuktam means to be free from the obstacles of the path of Gyan as well as the path of Karma, Vedic rites and rituals, dharma, etc. The word Nirmalam means to be free from all desires. And the word Tatparatvena means bhakti, love, and with intense longing, intense yearning for God, for Sri Krishna. Naradji also says in Narad Bhakti Sutra, Guna Rahitam, Kamana Rahitam, Pratikshan Vardhamanam. The path of bhakti, the path of love, is free from all attributes, all desires, and it increases every moment. Pratikshana Vardhamanam, every moment it increases. So the first condition, if you want to do bhakti, as Bhagwan Shri Ram is saying, if you want to get happiness here and the hereafter, the only way to find true happiness, bhakti. God is saying, Then we have to do bhakti, and if you want to do bhakti, this condition you have to fulfill. First condition, anyabhilashita shunyam. We have to give up all desires except the desire to love God selflessly. Beside the desire of loving God selflessly, nishkam prem, nishkam, selfless love, we have to give up all desires. Sab kamanao ko chhodna. What are all desires we have to give up? Dharma, arth, kam, moksha. You've heard about this. Traditional aims of human life. People glorify this a lot. But if you want bhakti, then you have to give this up. Dharma, desire for righteousness, to go to heaven. That's all it will give. Arth, desire for material wealth. Kam, desire for material pleasure. Moksha, desire for moksha or liberation. This can also be classified as sattvic desires, rajasic desires, tamasic desires, and desire for moksha, for mukti. Again, it can be categorized as desire for the material world, the happiness of this material world, material objects, material people, material things. Desire for heaven, swarg, and desire for mukti, liberation. Finally, we can put it in two categories. Two categories. Two things we have to give up if you want bhakti. Bhukti. The word bhukti means desire for this material world plus the desire for heavenly pleasures combined. This is called bhukti. Bhukti. Bhukti, desire for the pleasures of this material world, plus desire for the heavenly pleasures. Both combined is called bhukti, and mukti, you know, to merge into the formless aspect. Actually, there are 5 kinds of mukti. All has to be given up. One mukti is the mukti of the jnanis. Sayujya mukti, ekatva mukti, many names. And 4 muktis are muktis of those who worship God with a form. Mahavishnu, Narayan, Paramatma. Salokya, Sarupya, Samipya, Sarshti. These are 4 of devotee. Sarupya, to have a form like Shri Krishna, Mahavishnu. Sarupya. Salokya, to have an abode like Mahavishnu. Samipya, to always be close to the Lord. And Sarshti, to have opulences like him. All 5 have to be given up. Bhukti and mukti are so dangerous. One of the greatest saints that we ever came in this world has written one of the greatest book of bhakti called Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. In the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Rup Goswami says, Bhukti mukti sprihayavat pishachi hridhi vartate tavat bhakti sukhasyat katamabhyudayo bhavet. The word pishachi means demoness, churail, witch. Bhukti and mukti have been called pisachini, demoness, witches. चुड़ैल। Rup Goswami Maharaj is saying, as long as these two churail, these two demonesses, bhukti and mukti, remember bhukti, desire for the material world plus heaven, and mukti, desire to merge into the formless aspect of Sri Krishna. As long as these two witches, demonesses are in the heart of an individual, Bhakti Mahadevi, or the goddess of divine love, will never come. You'll never get bhakti. Tusidasji says in the Ramayana, अस विचार जे परम सयाने मुक्ति निदान भक्ति लुभाने जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम अस विचार जे परम सयाना परम सयाना Sayana means wise person. A Paramasayana, supremely wise. Having taught very carefully. The really wise person, Asa vichara je Paramasayana. Mukti nidarari, he keeps very far away from mukti and desires only bhakti, bhakti lubhani. To love the Lord. And of the two, bhukti and mukti, mukti is the more dangerous one. The desire to merge into the formless aspect of God. You see, if someone desires bhukti, worldly and heavenly pleasures, they will not attain God, but will continue existing in this world in some form. Rotating in the 8.4 million forms of life, going to hell, etc. And eventually, one day we will get human birth again. According to Sanatan Dharma, there is no everlasting heaven, there is no everlasting hell. Only everlasting Bhagavan attainment, Bhagavad Prapti, attainment of God. Once you attain Bhagavan, that's forever. But there is no everlasting hell, there is no everlasting heaven. For a while we go, enjoy it, and come back and suffer. For you go for a while in hell and get punished for the sins and then come back. Rotating in 8.4 million forms of life, working out the bad actions we have performed, our attachment in the material world. And one day eventually we will get human birth. And having gotten human birth, if we happen to meet a true Rasik saint, a Rasik, there are many kinds of saint. But if you want to attain bhakti, we have to go to Rasik saint, one who is drinking the divine nectar of Shri Radha Krishna every moment. It's called Rasik. We happen to meet a true Rasik saint and believe in him, accept him as Guru and surrender to him, we will attain that bhakti, divine love. But if someone desires mukti, liberation, and indeed attains it, he will never attain bhakti ever again. Once you merge into the formless aspect of Sri Krishna, that's the end. You cannot do anything again. Not only that, Bhagwan Shri Ram says to Kag Basundaji in the Ramayana, काघ बुसुंदी मांगु भर अति प्रसन्न मोहि जान। हो रामा अति प्रसन्न मोहि जान। अणिमादिक सिद्धि अपर निधि मोक्ष सकल सुख खान। हो रामा मोक्ष सकल सुख खान। सियावर रामचंद्र कर जय शरण। शंकर हरि ओम जय जय सिया राम। जय जय सिया राम।
जय जय सिया राम।
काघ बुसुंदी मांग वर अति प्रसन्न मोहि जान। Bhagavan Shri Ram, the Supreme Lord, says to his dearest devotee, Kag Basundi ji, O Kag Basundi, I am extremely pleased with you, extremely happy with you. Ati prasanna. I will give you anything you desire. Please ask me for something. Manguvar. Kag Basundi ji says, Maharaj, I have you, I have everything. What should I ask for? Besides, what are you going to give me? Kya de? So Bhagavan says, you want to hear? He said, yes. So Bhagavan says, I will give you the powers to perform miracles. Anima, Laghima, Garima, Siddhis. Oh, people hear Siddhi and they go crazy. If you're a devotee and you want bhakti, keep far away from Siddhi. It's the most dangerous thing. A devotee looks upon Siddhis like dry grass. But Bhagavan is saying, I'll give you Siddhi. If you didn't have a good guru or he didn't teach you properly, then you'll run after it. A Kag Basundaji, the guru had taught him properly. If a Bhagavan ever told you to ask for anything, be careful. I'll give you Siddhis, powers to perform miracle. Anima, Laghima, Garima. Great treasure. Useless. And moksha, the best of attainment. He's trying to fool. On the one hand, he's saying to Kag Basundaji, you are very dear to me, extremely dear. On the other hand, he's trying to fool him, make him a fool. Bhagavan, everybody has a nature, it's Bhagavan nature. He wants to see what kind of guru you had. Because in actual effect, there is nothing in moksha, in mukti. One who attains mukti experiences nothing. We, in our daily life, get that experience. In the stage of deep sleep, called Shushupti Avastha, we get a taste of what moksha is. We experience nothing. In other words, you experience no happiness, no sorrow. But it's not true. Mukti. Just a little taste. The state of dreamless sleep, deep sleep. You see, the jnani, the one who is trying to attain moksha, mukti, he destroys the mind. It is our mind, the mind that experiences happiness and sorrow. The Atma, the soul, is a non-doer. But the jnani, the one following the path of jnana, wanting to attain moksha, mukti, destroys the mind. And the Atma, the soul, which as I said is a non-doer, merges into the formless absolute Brahman. He attains Brahmanan. There's infinite happiness in Brahmanan. But there's no one to experience. The experiencer has been destroyed. There was a great saint, Ram Krishna Paramhans, in Bengal, India. He would say, I do not want to become the sugar. I want to eat the sugar. Sugar is sweet, but sugar cannot taste its own sweetness. It is the person who eats the sugar who tastes the sweetness of the sugar. In the same way, it is the bhakt, the devotee, who keeps the identity that I am a das, I am a servant of Sri Krishna, who tastes the divine bliss, divine nectar of Sri Krishna forever. A devotee never says, Shivoham, Shivoham, I am God, Aham Brahmasmi. And home to home, everybody is singing Shivoham, I am God. A devotee says, Dasoham, Dasoham, I am a servant of the Lord. I cannot be Bhagavan. So he experiences nothing. So listen. Let's hear what Kag Basundaji asks Bhagwan for. अविरल भक्ति विशुद्ध तव श्रुति पुराण जेहि गाओ हो रामा श्रुति पुराण जेहि गाओ जेहि खोजत योगीश मुनि प्रभु प्रसाद को पाओ हो रामा प्रभु प्रसाद को पाओ सियावर रामचंद्र कर जय शरणम शंकर हरि ओम जय जय सिया राम जय जय सिया राम जय जय सिया राम. Kag Basundaji says, okay Maharaj, if you insist that I should ask for something, I don't want those things. They're toys, khilona. Give it to the foolish people who want it. ये मूर्ख लोग. If you insist that I should ask for something, then give me this. What did he ask for? Avirala bhakti, Vishuddha bhakti, Nishkam prem, Anapayani bhakti. Many names. It means that selfless love, that depthless ocean of selfless love, that makes even God a slave. Free from all desires. When you do bhakti, there should be no desire for one's own happiness. None. Everywhere, Shankar Bhagwan says to Shri Ram, Bar bar varmangahu, Harsh hriday Shri Rang, Pad saroj anapayani, Bhakti sada satasang. My Lord, when Bhagwan Shri Ram was put on the throne and everyone was leaving, everybody glorified, the last one to glorify is Shiv Bhagwan. Shivji says, my Lord, again and again I ask you for one thing. If it makes you, if it pleases you, if you're happy, you want to give, fine. If you don't want to give, but one thing. What is that? Pada saroj anapayani bhakti. Give me that anapayani bhakti, that selfless love for your lotus feet. Also Dasata sung under association of your divine saints, your rustic saints forever. All devotees. Also, Bharatji. Bharat is going to Ayodhya. Chitrakoot. Bharat, when he came back to Ayodhya and heard his mother had asked for those 2 boons from his father Dashrath, and Ram was banished in the forest for 14 years and the kingdom was his, Bharat said, I don't want any kingdom. Are you crazy? Bharat decided to go and ask Ram to come back. On the way he came to Prayag, Triveni. the confluence of the three divine rivers Ganga, Yamuna, Saraswati. Sangam. When Bharatji reached the bank of the Sangam, the three rivers, this is three divine power, they personified and stood before Bharat as three goddesses. In other words, saying to Bharat, ask for something. Ask us. We're going to bless you, Bharatji. We love your devotion, your selflessness. Bharatji put his hands together and he's praying to the three goddesses standing before him. Arat na dharma na kam ruchi gati na chahu nikhan ho Rama gati na chahu nikhan janam janam rati Ram pad yah vardanu nan ho Rama yah vardanu nan siyavar Ramchandra kar jai sharanam Shankar Hari Om Jai Jai Siya Ram Jai Jai Siya Ram Jai Jai Siya Ram. Just as Kag Basundaji said, give me that selfless love, that avirala bhakti, that vishuddha bhakti, that the Puranas, the Vedas all glorify. Great rishis and munis are searching, they can't find it. Only the one whom God showers His grace can attain that bhakti when we completely surrender. Bharat says to the three goddesses, Dharma na artha na kama ruchi. I told you these four we have to give up. Bharat is teaching us here how to do bhakti. Bharat, you want to know about bhakti? Bharat ji is the personification of bhakti. Bharat, the younger brother of Prabhu Sri Ram. He personifies bhakti. Bharatji says, I have no desire for righteousness, dharma. I don't want to go heaven. I have no desire for wealth, art, for pleasure, calm. Chaun, nikhan. I don't want moksha, liberation, mukti. No, none of these four. Dharma, art, calm, moksha. Janama janama rati Rama pada, birth after birth. Let me have selfless love for the lotus feet of my Prabhu Sri Ram. This is the only boon I ask for, nothing. All the saints, all the scriptures teach us the same thing. Worldly people teach you different things. Pray for money, pray for wealth, pray for this, pray for that. Because, as they said, they themselves want that, blind leading the blind. They do not know where to find true happiness. What they know, they will teach you. Look at what the saints and sages, look what great devotees are asking for. Kagya Sundarji could have asked for anything. All the siddhis, the greatest of treasures, moksha. No, I don't want that. That selfless love, because that bhakti, that love, that makes Bhagavan a slave also. So, mukti, moksha is extreme, more dangerous. Once you attain it, that's it. Forever you're lost. So that's it. So let's look a little bit about bhukti now. Desire for this world, the pleasures of this material world and heaven is called bhukti. Look, we have been told uncountable times in our uncountable past lifetime that there is no happiness in this material world, in any person or object, neither even in heaven. Bhagwan Shri Ram tells the residents of Ayodhya, Ehitan kar phala vishayana bhai Swargahu swalpa anta dukhadai. This human body, which is so valuable that even devatas are praying for it, wasn't given to enjoy the sensual pleasures of the world, nor to go to heaven. Because it is swallow. The happiness of heaven is non-existent and it ends in suffering. After you go there, heaven, you have to come back here and suffer. We have heard this. Uncountable. And yet in spite of all of that, what do we pray to God for? What we are told to pray to God for? For health and wealth and mother and father and children and motor car and money. Huh? We are told, the scriptures tell us there is no happiness, which is our experience also. That same thing that gives happiness ends up giving sorrow. Somebody goes to a store that sells vegetables and he says to the person selling the vegetable, I want a pair of Nike shoes. The guy will say, are you blind? Don't you see this is the vegetable store? In the same way, asking God for the world is as foolish as asking a blind man for his eyes. The second point is that can God increase or decrease what we are supposed to acquire in this material world? According to our prarabdha, our past action. Sometime I'll go in more detail, time won't allow me to. Understand briefly. The fact is God, not even God, can increase or decrease. Listen carefully. God cannot increase or decrease what we are supposed to acquire due to our prarabdha or actions performed in the past life. Even to the exact moment of death. Purva janma kritam karma tad devamiti kathyate hitopadesh. God gives us free will. I'm not going to go in detail here. In chapter 2, verse 47, God says, I give you free will. The freedom to perform action, the right to perform action. God gives us free will. The actions we perform in our past life, out of the free will that God has given to us, that becomes our destiny in the next life. In one life it's called Purusharth. In this present life, freedom to perform action. Only human beings can do Purusharth, fruit-bearing action. That becomes Bhagya. The name changes, that's all. That's all. The name changes. Purusharth in this lifetime, in the next lifetime it's called Bhagya, destiny. In other words, we make our destiny. Whatever happens. Ayuh karma cha vittam cha vidyani dhanameva cha panchaitana siddhyante garbhastasya eva dehina hitopadesh. Ayu, duration of life, how long we live for. Karma, what kind of interest we will have. Whether we want to be a teacher, a doctor, an engineer. Whatever. That comes with you automatically. With how much wealth will come to us easily. I keep saying over and over, where do we get wealth from? Where do you get wealth? When you give dhan, charity. This is a debt we owe to God. We are supposed to give dhan, charity. We owe so much to Bhagwan. For not giving dhan, charity, the punishment is very big. Besides having to rotate in 8.4 million forms of life, going to hell, etc. When we are born in the human birth in the next life, next time, we are born very poor. Whole life you will be poor, no matter what you do. Daridata, for not giving dhan, charity. With how much will come easily? You can get more, but you have to work very hard. Vidya, how much knowledge will come easily? Again, you can get more, you have to work very hard. Nidhanamevacha. The moment we'll die and how we will die is determined the moment the child is conceived in the womb of the mother. And nobody can change that. No one. Not even Bhagavan. And somebody said, forget all that. Forget what the scriptures say. Forget what Bhagavan say. I am better than Bhagavan. You give me some money, I can change everything for you. And we listen. Because we don't even know what's written in the scriptures. We call ourselves Hindu, we have no idea. We don't know anything philosophy. We know some story, that's all. When it comes to philosophy, we don't want to hear. It's too boring. We don't want to read, we don't want to hear, we don't want to listen. We have no idea. So anybody can fool us. No one can change. Prarabdha. Up to the exact moment of death. It's a divine law. Are Dashrath, when Shri Ram got the news in Chitrakoot that Dashrath had died, he is a Bhagavan, supreme power. He could have said, no, rise again, Dashrath, you cannot die. No, he couldn't do anything. Crying loudly, he had to perform all the rituals, all the rites necessary after death. Abhimanyu died in the prime of his youth. Mahapurush. His father Arjun, topmost among saints, know of Gita. His Mamu, mother's brother, Sri Krishna, Lord, supreme power. And the one who arranged the auspicious moment for his marriage, got him married, Vedavyas, descension of Sri Krishna. All three present, but no one could save Abhimanyu from dying in the prime of his youth. Uttara had to become a widow at the tender age of 16. and then we think we can change somebody, we think we can change it. Nobody can. The difference is the true ones who have attained divine knowledge, true knowledge, they know that death and disease are an inevitable part of life. Jnani bhugate jnanate, murak bhugate roya. Jata sudhro mitu dhruvam janma mitasya cha. Chapter 2, verse 27, Gita. That which take birth must die, and that which die must take birth. What takes birth? Body. Body dies. Soul, Atma, is unborn, eternal, beginningless. Never had a beginning, will never have an end. It cannot, no weapon can cut it, no fire can burn it, no water can wet it, nor can it be dried by the wind. It is the same forever. But when you have that knowledge, we don't have the knowledge. We think. We don't have any knowledge. That's why we suffer. The third point, let's suppose for a moment, God can fulfill our desires, worldly desires. How can we expect Him to fulfill our desires when we have nothing to do with Him? We have no time. We do puja. Maybe once a year. We offer jal every day. We light a diya. But why? Because we think that I can get something if I do this. I'll do a havan so I can get this. I can get some material thing. I can get a good job. So I do a havan, I do a puja. We don't care about Bhagavan. In the world, we are very careful. We don't know somebody. We don't even go close. We don't know the person to ask for something. And besides, we don't even know what's good for us. A newborn child doesn't make a demand of the mother. It doesn't even know how to say, I want, Mommy, I want milk. Mommy, I put thing in my pampers. Clean me, mummy. A newborn child doesn't know. All the child does is cry. Hungry cry. Pain in the belly cry. Something's bite the child cry. One medicine cry. And the child, the mother fulfills all the need of the child. But the mother is not all knowing. There are times she makes mistake. The child is crying and she thinks the child is hungry. And she takes the bottle and stick it in the mouth, and the child has problem in his stomach, it gets worse. But Bhagavan, who is our eternal and true mother, cannot make any mistake. She alone knows what's good for us. And even if we insist on begging, demanding, we don't even know what is good for us, what to ask for. There's an example in the scripture of a Rakshas, a demonic soul person, who did tapasya for thousands and thousands. Of his tapasya was so great, the three worlds started to burn with the fire of his tapasya. Hiranyakashipu. Brahma, the creator, came with his kamandulu and he sprinkled water on him. He became young again, powerful, handsome, and said to him, my son, I'm pleased with your tapasya. Varam. Hiranyakashipu used all his intellect to prevent dying. One thing he didn't ask for, let me be immortal. Bhagwan went in the mind and fixed it. He could not ask for that. But he tried to ask for everything else. He used his entire intellect. Nantarbhai divanakta manesmadapi chayudhai na bhumo nambare mrityu nanairai namrigairapi. Bhagavad Mahapuran, 7th canto, 3rd chapter, 36th verse. He said, O Brahmadev, give me the boon that I should die neither indoors nor outdoors, neither inside nor outside, neither in the day nor in the night, neither in the earth nor in the sky, not by any weapon created by man or celestial being. Long list he created, long list. In other words, it seems as though he would be immortal. No one, nothing could kill him. And yet he met his end. Bhagwan came as Nrsimha Bhagwan and finished him. It was dusk, neither day nor night. Bhagwan took him up and put him on he took him to the doorway. It was neither inside nor outside, the threshold. Put him on his lap, placed him on the lap. It was neither in the earth nor in the sky, and took his nail and ripped him apart. There was no weapon created by man nor celestial being. Another example, there's a great personality called Indra. He is the king of heaven, the king of the devatas, the celestial beings, the god of rain, King Raja. The knowledge of the devatas are far, we are told human beings are superior in all the 8.4 million forms of life because of knowledge, Gyan. Jnanam hitesha madhiko vishesho jnanena hina pashubhistaman. But we cannot claim to be as knowledgeable as the devatas. Their knowledge is far, far superior, and he's the king. And yet, look what happened. Once he happened to meet Bhagwan, Indra, the king of heaven, happened to meet Bhagwan, Shri Krishna. And Shri Krishna, by his nature, whoever he meets, he tells them, ask for a boon. So he said to to Indra, Beta, my son, Baram Bruhi, ask me for a boon. Indra looked at Bhagwan and said, I want to get a most beautiful woman for a wife. Now, Indra has no less of wife in his in heaven, thousands and thousands of celestial nymphs, apsaras. But still he wanted another one. Bhagwan turned the face a little bit on the side and started laughing. Dekho beoku, foolish. He says, Indra, look, I am here, I'm not running away. Think carefully and then ask. Indra said, no, that's all I want. A most beautiful woman to be my wife. Bhagwan said, okay. Bhagwan used his power, Yog Maya, and he made millions of women appear. Each one more beautiful than the other. The first one, Indra saw, he became so infatuated, he said, I want this one. Bhagwan said, okay, bhaiya, please take your time. I'm not running away, I'm not taking them away. Take your time and look. No, this is the one. Her name was Urvashi, Apsara. You have heard the name. Bhagwan says, okay, take. He took Urvashi. Bhagwan went. Disappeared from there. Indra took Urvashi and went to his celestial abode, heaven, and went to the Guru, Brihaspati. Brihaspati thought, who is this new lady? I didn't see her before. There's so much wives of Indra, Indrani, etc. Who is this new lady? So Indra went before Brihaspati, bowed to him. Brihaspati, the Guru said, Indra, beta, who is this lady? Indra said, Guruji, Maharaj, today I was so fortunate. I met Bhagavan, the Supreme Lord, and he told me to ask for a boon, and she's what I asked for. Please bless me. Brihaspati got so angry, so angry. You met Bhagavan, and all you could think about asking for a lady, a woman? You have defamed the name of your Guru and the status of celestial being, Devata. How could you be so foolish to ask for material things? Now think, when this is the condition of Indra, the king of heaven, what is our condition? That's why we should never give up to all this thought of asking. Just surrender to Bhagavan selflessly. We don't put a blemish on the path of divine love. Divine love has to be free from all desires. The only desire we have is to love God selflessly. Naraji defines bhakti in Narad Bhakti Sutra, Tas Sukha Sukhitvam. To be happy in the happiness of the beloved. Whatever makes my Bhagwan happy. That, you see, that when one loves God selflessly, it doesn't mean you're not going to attain, and you're going to attain supreme divine bliss, divine love. And as I mentioned, it keeps increasing every moment. Guna rahitam, kamana rahitam, pratikshana vardhamanam. When a person loves Bhagavan selflessly, Shri Krishna selflessly, he offers his selfless love. Bhagavan takes that selfless love of the devotee, multiplies it many times and gives it back. The devotee again loves selflessly, that immense love he has gotten, again increases, again he gives it to Bhagavan, again Bhagavan multiplies it and gives it back, and so it keeps increasing forever. So we have to give up all, and especially these two, bhukti and mukti. This is all the desires in order to bhakti. The only desire is to love the Lord, to serve the Lord, and Guru, who is God personified, the true Guru, Shotya Brahmanishta Mahapurush, one who has attained the divine love, divine bliss of Shri Radha Krishna, who has seen God, attained God, to love them selflessly for their happiness only. There's much more. We'll hear some other time. Bol Larli Lal ki jai. Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki jai. Srimad Sadguru Sarkar ki jai.